So I saw this Twitter post today about how Bitcoin's following Wyckoff to the T and how that means Bitcoin's going to top in the summer. Figured it's a good thing to share just so people have an idea out there. Maybe Bitcoin tops in the summer. I don't know. Nobody's got a crystal ball. But this is what this guy's talking about. Let me show you the exact chart. This is a zoomed in version of the chart what he's talking about. And Wyckoff is like this technical analysis who has his own market structure. You can see this is the Wyckoff structure. Base, top, and then retracement base, another base downwards. Basically like a three-wave structure, 1, 2, 3. And this guy here is talking about how Bitcoin could top out into new distribution phase at the very top of this cycle in July. I've seen a couple Wyckoff people talk about this actually, but it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed we're going to have a top in July, and there's a lot of things you can look at to confirm it as it's happening. What I would do is I wouldn't discredit this idea, but as of right now, it's just an idea. Nobody knows what's going to happen exactly, but maybe what happens is Bitcoin follows M2. M2 goes up for a couple months even further than it has now, but we know how Bitcoin typically tops before M2 tops. So if M2 keeps rising throughout the rest of the year, maybe Bitcoin has to top a couple months earlier, maybe late summer. Also, what you can do is not just look at this, right? We could have a accumulation zone in July or August. Maybe that coincides with this Wyckoff distribution that's going on. Another thing you can do is look at the risk levels of Bitcoin and understand how risky is Bitcoin getting if it does pump up to around 150 to 160 where this guy's talking about. Now, I personally think that the top for Bitcoin is between 140 and $185,000. It'd put it right around my top zone. If I get $150,000 Bitcoin, I'm just going to sell everything. The final thing I would look at is how does price, as it gets to this zone, this $150,000 zone, how is it playing with the 30 and 40 week moving average? If it's durably above the moving averages, there's no reason to sell. If it's cutting through the 30, maybe that takes caution. If it's cutting through the 40 and getting below the 40 and closing below the 40 on a weekly candle, a full close below the 40, meaning like it has a week that cuts below the 40 and then a week that closes below the 40, that could be a perfect time to sell and take all your Bitcoin profit. So this is one thing I thought was really interesting I saw today. Maybe Bitcoin's going to top out in the summer, very late summer, July and August. Maybe it's following a Wyckoff market structure to the T. If so, this is what you could watch. Definitely don't push this to the side. Have it as an idea, keep it in the back of your mind, and watch how the cycle plays out.